doesn't have the manual, but it's like, the cover's in decent shape. Like,
I thought you were gonna say there's a disc in it.
No, that would have been funny.
That would have been really funny. He opens it up and goes, "Well, guess I'm not playing this."
Speaking of my stupidity, so I was walking down the street today, right? And
as you do,
I saw a girl with some big bazungas, right? Like just big knockers. And instead of me doing what a normal person would do and be like, damn, look at those titties.
Stare.
Instead, what I did is I said to myself, what a wonderful world, A. And then B, I also said, man,
fair enough.
She has an earthquake on her chest. Like, why is that?
What?
Like,
what does that mean?
Hear me out. This is my new, instead of saying that she has big boobs or like whatever, you just say, man, she has an earthquake going on her chest. You know, because
she got those tectonic plates going.
Yeah, bro.
She's got the
tectonic plates.
No. It's the tectonic plates.
No, I feel like,
that's true. That's true. The tectonic.
I feel like the tectonic plates though is maybe more applicable to like a guy who's just like extremely muscular and like the pecs just pop out. So it's like,
that's why Cosmic said tectonic plates, you know. And then I was like, and then like instead of like doing in cup sizes, we could do it in terms of like the magnitude of the earthquake, like it's an 8 or a 9. Like the girl I saw today was probably a 9. You know what I mean?
On the Richter scale or whatever it is.
Yeah, on the Richter scale.
Newton's cradle is diabolical, bro. Jesus Christ.
Man,
they just fucking clap a certain way and cause a shockwave. Like, Jesus Christ.
That joint was a 9 on the
clap like
on the
that.
Richter
It's more like a, you know, like put your hands on, like, you know, and then
yeah.
No, it's not that. That would be impressive if it did happen like that, but
that would be the one.
That would be weird,
someone's tried.
Actually.
That's like the thing.
Oh, for sure.
It's like the worst part.
I would throw around my boobs any which way I could if I had them.
Comment, like, and subscribe if you have boobs.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone.
I am Jaxler.
I'm DECosmic.
Oh my god.
I'm Coley.
I'm just saying that like every woman you ask them, the first thing that they're going to do with their dick, if they had one, is swing around. And I think I would do the same thing if I had an earthquake on my chest.
There's that, and like I don't.
I'm just gonna keep selling this. I'm just gonna keep saying it until it passes.
So
I don't know.
Like, what's the deal with like women who want to hold their man's
what's the
dick
deal with women? Yeah, Jaxler.
No, exactly.
Yeah, tell them.
Yeah, what's the
asking the real questions here?
Fuck, what's the
what are you
now
doing?
You get to clip that out of context.
I tried so.
And got so far. Doesn't even matter.
But like, what's the deal with wanting to hold someone else's dick while they pee? Like, I don't understand the obsession with that. Like,
I don't know anybody
who
who's
wants to
ever
do that?
thought that.
Like,
do you want to do that, Jaxler?
No, well, yes, so I can like aim and not make a mess of my bathroom. But like, don't you all aim to pee? Like, are y'all stupid?
Well,
I thought you were talking about holding somebody else's.
Yeah, that's what I was on Cole's wavelength. I thought you were talking about
playing
like holding
firefighter.
I thought you were asking me about
holding.
I thought you were asking me about holding my own dick, and I'm like,
you want to be the fire hydrant? Okay.
He was trying to help a bro out and just be like, "Yo, bro, you need to learn how to aim." So he just holds their dick for him.
Yeah, my aim is to keep this bathroom clean. Your aim will help.
I actually use aimbot, so my dick just automatically knows. It's just like,
right.
Yeah.
God, is aimbot just the same as sitting down, or do you have like a special program that you have installed in your left text?
No, that's turbo.
Damn.
Oh, that's turbo.
You'd be surprised
Okay.
You'd be surprised at the amount of people who sit down, like guys who sit down to pee, but yet don't like think about like the angle of the dangle, and it like ends up like shooting between like the toilet seat and like the toilet bowl.
That's a skill issue, bro.
That happened
if you're
to me
doing
when I was
that,
younger.
you're like 7
I agree.
years old
When I was a
you're
kid
dumb,
learning, I remember
you
that.
know? Like
Dude,
you're either 7 or dumb or
agree.
both.
Like,
because I mean, if you're 7, you're probably dumb.
That's what I'm saying. Like, God, like.
Shouts to all the smart 7-year-olds. All like 2 of you.
Yeah, all 2 of you. You fucking dorks.
And if you're watching this, why?
Yeah, why are you here? Like this is not.
If you're watching this and you're 7, you should
okay.
go to school and say to your teachers that your teacher has an earthquake on her chest.
Only Nestani is telling you to do that, by the way. I just want to clarify
I'm just
that.
All of us as a
Possible legal
collective
reasons.
together in numbers.
Nope.
This is like Stalinism where everyone's just backing me up no matter what. All right, we've got to.
I'm just imagining it like the fucking.
You know, we've got to be just like communist Russia.
Dude, I'm just
If that
imagining
was
it
the
like the
case-
mango stomp from Royal Flush, where he's just like, boom, like when he fucking.
I know exactly what you're
It's
talking
just
about.
like every half step is like, boom, boom. Can I get 5 big booms for the tectonic? boom, boom, boom.
If this is Russia or like communist Russia, then we got to stay up until like 5 a.m. drinking and watching American movies as well.
that's true.
That's
Yeah.
what
That
Sounds
Stalin-
awesome.
That's what
I have
Stalin
to
used to
watch
do.
like 15 movies like this weekend. So, and by 15 I mean like 2
Yeah.
or 3.
Like 2, yeah.
Well, it's because like I have
That
to
was
do
a
this.
really drastic change.
Well, to me, watching 3 movies is equivalent to watching like fucking 32 of them because I hate that shit. Because
Yeah.
I have to. Because essentially, here's the thing about me, guys, is that I said this in the last time that we talked about film with Cosmic and Cole, but I have never once in my life ever paid attention to a director or like the name of like a director for a film, right? And so
Yeah.
for my assignment, I have to write a paper about 3 films from one director and like, you know, what's their like style and like kind of describe like what the
Yeah.
fuck they do that's similar
what'd
in
you
each of the
pick?
movies. Here's the thing. I do not think I have watched 3 movies from any individual director. I really don't think I have.
You might have.
I think the closest is Christopher Nolan because I think I've seen.
I
I
was
know
gonna
I've seen
say
Interstellar,
Christopher
and I
Nolan.
think I've seen Inception. I don't know if I've only saw clips of it. I remember like the buildings go and they like move everywhere. That's
Just
all I
watch-
know. So I would have to rewatch
watch
it anyway because I
Interstellar.
watched that shit when I was like 10. You know,
Yeah.
and then like The Dark Knight, I probably watched that when I
Yeah.
was like 10. But I would have to rewatch both of those things. So I might as well just. So I'm gonna have to rewatch movies anyway because I haven't watched 3 movies from a director in like the past like 10 years. You know.
There you go. Yeah.
So.
Or you could also just watch the entire like original Star Wars trilogy and then actually
No.
because he didn't direct all those.
I think
he
I'm
didn't
gonna,
direct.
whoever directed
It's the
Moonlight, I'm
25th
gonna watch 2 other of his movies. Is what I'm gonna do.
Who was it? You said?
Whoever directed Moonlight, just because I was forced to watch Moonlight in my class recently, and I wrote my last paper about Moonlight. Because again, we just watched it in class, and then I had to turn in the assignment the next day, so then I wrote it.
Yeah, so like while you have the momentum, you might as well.
It was the same day. It was the same. We watched Moonlight that day. My paper was due that night, and so then I wrote my paper on Moonlight in the same day because I forgot that I had a paper due, and I was like, man,
Sounds like
what
a
if I skip it? And then I looked at the syllabus, and he was like, if you skip any paper, you will automatically fail the class, and I was like, okay,
Okay.
yeah.
That's kind of harsh.
First of all,
Well,
insane.
it's because that's like all that's great at. Like, there's no homework, there's nothing else. Like, that's all we do. Basically.
and just that's just the way the
And then like a
Interesting.
participation grade where like we are supposed to read like a couple like things and then we discuss them in class. I haven't read anything for the past 2 months because I figured out that I don't have to read anything or contribute, and it's fine. So I haven't done that. In my other 2 classes though, where we do have discussion sections, I do actually read the shit because
yeah.
they actually
kinda
care.
have to.
But this guy, he's kind of like, you know. But anyway, so that's what I have to do. And so now it's kind of cooked. And I don't know how I got here, but, you know, nobody asked, but we're here. You know, oh my God, name of the podcast. But speaking of movies, fucking Midwest Speedfest was a movie. It wasn't really a movie. Jaxler can actually, hold on. Midwest Speedfest was a movie, and our boy Jaxler was in it, and it was fucking cool and epic and pog. Jaxler, take it away. What did you run? What did you do? Oh my God.
I did a whole lot of things this weekend. So for those who don't know, Midwest Speedfest is a speedrunning marathon that takes place in Minnesota, right by the Caribou. Sorry, I had to do that for
Caribou?
this.
Wait, it's
I
in
had
the
to do
same
that for my-
spot? Real?
No, it's not at the same spot.
Oh, okay.
So it's in fucking Plymouth, which is like 20 minutes out from down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's at VGM
What that
Con,
Plymouth
which is
do?
like half video game convention, half music festival, essentially. So pretty cool event. It was
Weird combination.
it is a weird combination, but it's like the convention for like video game music composers and like cover artists and shit like that.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff. You know, they got like clinics, and like basically you walk through the venue and like 9 times out of 10 there's just like a group of 3 or 4 people jamming in the hallway, like cooking something up. It's pretty sick actually. But yeah, Midwest Speedfest has been happening at VGN Con for like the past several years now. This is also their 10th anniversary marathon, like big time marathon. So that was like a sick thing as well. And I was pretty busy throughout the weekend. So I did run something at the event. I ran Mushroom and the Spore Wars on Saturday.
Hell yes.
Mushroom. Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em. And so that run went pretty well. I like, in all honesty, like it's Mushroom Man, like it's mostly like a movement fundies type of game. So it's not like as long as I just warmed up like a couple of levels, it was like I was kind of good. But yeah, the run for that went pretty well. People seem to enjoy it.
And then he had a meltdown. He couldn't complete the run. It was like his Vex run.
Yeah,
from that
no,
one pack.
it was. You should have seen my you should have seen my practice runs, because I was like throwing minutes in like one level because I was just being stubborn. But that's neither here nor there.
Classic. I love doing that in my speedruns.
Friend of the podcast, friend of the people, twitch.tv/Tabasco.
PMC Trilogy. Oh.
Well, that's also true. But Chibi Robo was also there, and I was on commentary for that. And that was maybe one of the funniest speedrun marathon commentaries I've ever been a part of. So TLDR, Kobe played like really, really fucking good the whole time.
I thought you were about to say really ass, and so we had to fill a lot of dead air.
No. Well, that's the thing, is we did have to fill dead air because, so first of all, Tabasco made the scrap route before even making it out of night 2, which is insane. So like for the scrap, like she rolled like 3 100 pickups and a 50 back to back to back. So like she made the scrap. Yeah, exactly. So like she made scrap route in the basement, which is like unfucking heard of. And then she also nailed like the day 3 cycle that you do after that. So like in several like cycles, because we had all the money we needed, we just kind of had like a minute to minute and a half at the end of a couple of cycles. So like Kobe was like, yeah, I kind of have to get up and go to the bathroom. I was like, I mean, you have a minute, so go ahead. So she literally gets up and goes to the bathroom and just hands me the controller.
That is hilarious.
That's awesome.
And
that's good.
So we had just given the stuff to unlock pajamas for that route. So I was like, hey, we're in the bedroom, so let me show you all a quick out of bounds real quick. And so I do like the stereo out of bounds where all you need to do is like ledge grab and then shimmy over and let go, and you just clip through the wall. And so so I just like tapped in my muscle memory there, and then Kobe takes a little bit to get out of the bathroom, and so I have to start mashing text for
women
her.
SMH.
And so I was like, I like almost shit myself because I was like, oh crap, I don't remember the night 4 GameCube route. So luckily she makes it back on time, but like I almost shit myself there. And then in the cycle after that, she accidentally used the trauma suit instead of just waiting down the timer. So we had like another minute or 2. So me and Liney, who were on the couch, then got up and went and used the bathroom.
Me and you on the couch is diabolical. I understand how this run went now. Ooh.
So then that happened. And so then Helix, who was hosting the run, comes out from like the hosting booth.
What a recipe.
And then starts pushing. It was so good. It was so funny. And the end of the, like I said, like she was so ahead on like routing stuff that run was in like 40 seconds of PB world record. So like
that's crazy.
It was, you should go back and watch that. The VODs will probably be up sometime next week, roughly a week from now when this episode goes up. So you should check both of those runs out. I guess the other third run that I would really shout out is we got the world record holder for Diddy Kong Racing to do an N% run. Yeah, and that run was fucking insane. Yeah. Like, you know me, if you've watched this podcast at all, I'm a known Nintendo, like,
he hates
hater.
Mario.
I'm like,
hater.
He hates Donkey Kong. Dude, should I speedrun Donkey Kong Bonanza or Bamboozle or whatever the fuck it's called?
I mean, if you want to make money, yeah, sure, go for it. But actually, it's interesting because, like, the last couple of years, like, Diddy Kong Racing has kind of gotten hardwalled from the last couple of GDQs. So, like, the DKR and, like, Mario 60... There's, like, a group of people in, like, Wisconsin that, like, all, like, run Mario Kart 64 events and shit. So they were all there. It was fucking loud because they haven't had the chance to do an in-person Diddy Kong run and Mario Kart 64 run in a long fucking time. And Runner played fucking great. It was our bonus game after DK64 Rando. And so like
Banger.
it was like midnight 1 a.m. banger essentially. And the runner played fucking insane. Like there's a thing that you have to do in a lot of the tracks where you have to like pause on the frame you complete the race so you can quit out and avoid like the you won thing that like takes 20 seconds. He hit like all but like 2 or 3 of them. It was actually fucked up.
Fucked up.
I know.
Nintendo runners are sick in the head, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
People who like grind like 64 games in general are like just kind of fucked up. So yeah, if you're looking for like
Does that mean
highlights from
I'm
the
fucked
marathon.
up?
I mean, you're getting there.
Oh shit.
It's okay. We have time to fix you.
Okay.
But
Stuart
Guys,
Little's
I'm
calling
going
your
back
name.
to
Speedrun
playing
that
Scooby-Doo
instead.
Night of 100 Frights. I'm returning
Stuart
again.
Little has done it again.
Stuart.
Stuart Little has done it again.
Would you speedrun Stuart Little? Nestani?
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah, would you?
Hell no, that game's fucking ass. I love watching it though. It's my favorite game to watch Jaxler run. I would never ever
Oh my
play that
God.
shit ever. And
I don't
never.
blame you. I really
0%.
don't blame you, dude.
0%.
I
Super
can't.
Stuart.
Yeah, no, I see. Here's the thing. My thing is, I'm on the couch for that game. I don't play the game. Right? I'm on the couch. I say it's Super Stuart, and I go like fucking ape mode, and then I make the crowd do the wave. I do. That's what I bring to Stuart Little. That guy is the one with the broken head that actually plays the game. So
It's funny because I had
Alright,
I had only done one like full any percent run leading up to the GDQ run.
I mean, it's Stuart Little, bro.
It's Stuart, like, bro, like, what are we doing here? It's like, but anywho, so as far as the speed running like run side went, that was pretty cool. I also got to fill in as an emergency host for the Curse of Monkey Island run, which is like a point and click adventure game run. So the game,
like League of
it
Legends.
was just like. Well, yeah, exactly. It's exactly like
That's a choose your own adventure. That's what League of Legends is.
But it's like one of those games where it's like an adventure game, so you like just like point and click do awful shit to people, but like you skip all the cutscenes, so the runners are just explaining, okay, we just did XYZ terrible thing to this guy, like we just like poisoned his drink or whatever, but you skip the cutscenes, so you just have to believe them. And it's funny as a result. So that was cool too. But more importantly, at least personally, the thing I was really proud of that we got to do during that event is I actually got brought on as part of the socials team at Midwest Speedfest. So typically at events like GDQ, you have like a dedicated group of like interstitial on-screen talents. You have like people doing interviews, the pre-show, for example, or like, like the prize segments, right? And so this was like our kind of first event having like a dedicated team for that on Midwest Speedfest. So that was headed by Limey, who you probably expect. But it was also me, Cassasaur, Seldom Seen Kid, who were like on camera talent. So I got to shoot like a bunch of really cool segments. We did something called Rolled Out GeoGuessr with the Rolled Out runner and also Helix, who's on commentary, where we basically like GeoGuessr, we gave them like screenshots from like in game, and they had to figure out what level they were in. Essentially,
I love that stuff.
And so
I want to do that for frights.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Who else?
Oh my god! So that bit was really fun.
It's just gonna be like me, mortal, like maybe harsh and summer, and that's all you can get.
I'll hop in on that if you need some.
There's some super fans of the game that just don't speedrun.
Okay,
that is true.
Name one.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I can't remember his tag, but like the guy who did Archipelago.
You think?
What?
Oh.
Yeah,
what's his
VGM.
fucking- yeah,
VGM. Yeah,
Goat, by the
blanked on
way.
his name. Yeah, Goat, by the way.
I know there's super fans of BFBB, but I can only name one, and I don't really care.
BFBB GeoGuessr would go kind of hard. That's pretty fucking.
I think Fright's GeoGuessr would go absolutely criminal because it's just like, guess this black block or this gray block or this brown block, and it's all the same fucking block. Like,
Oh my god.
which fishy level is it? I don't know. They all look the same.
Fishy is fair, yeah. But
Which manor level is it? There's literally 10,000 of them, and you're looking at a wall. I guess.
Oh baby, it's just like zoomed in on one of the many dresser drawers there are in the game,
I just want to recreate the Rainbow like shorts where he's like, has a girl ever come up to you? And then I'm like, no. And then I'm just like, Clamor in the Manor Part 1. Clamor in the Manor Part 2. You know, like that's what I want.
Wanted to do, like something similar like that with like Frogger 2 ILs as well, where it's like which side note, speaking of sub 14 happened in that game in any percent.
And Jaxler did it.
No, it was not me.
Jaxler did it. Just take credit for it. No one's gonna check.
I have a 19,
Jaxler
bro.
did it.
Fact check.
Shut the fuck up. There are some of my like speculation updates that are in the route. I did find some stuff that made that record happen. So yeah, but to give you an idea of how fucked it is, the time is like a 13:57, and I think some of best is like 13:54, 53. It's like
kind of crazy.
It's really fucking optimized now because Painkiller, the record holder, is a psycho. Parentheses affectionate.
Well, also their name is Painkiller, and you would need some painkillers in order to run that game for a long time. So
yeah, you know
that's true.
Yeah, but anywho,
I'll give that one like a 4 out of 10.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
So Rollout GeoGuessr is something we got to film. I got to film 2 segments with Mr. Shasta, who did some Kirby stuff at this event. So we did like a Kirby copy abilities tier list, and then like a tier list of the sub games within the game he was going to run. A lot of these segments were like intended to be like put onto like the Midwest Speedfest stream, and I think we'll probably do something like that next year. But due to like technical issues with like the marathon running behind, well, we just ended up putting them on Blue Sky instead. So there's still a couple of those that haven't aired yet, but probably my favorite one that we did was, I don't know if y'all have heard of Subway Takes on like YouTube
I've heard of
Shorts
Subway
and TikTok.
Surfers.
Not quite. But basically it's this guy who on like TikTok will just like go on the subway of like New York City and just
surf?
like ask strangers.
Oh.
Yeah, no, not quite. You're just not letting me do my thing here, are you? You're just being my antagonist right now.
Subway Surfers, I don't know. You say Subway, I say Surfers.
I know what
Subway Surfers, Subway, you know.
I know what you're
do I just
talking
need
about.
to like put like some
brain
iPad
rot.
baby content, like some Cocomelon in the bottom right feed of my
Dude, what if
of
I
my
just
camera?
put Subway Surfers just in the middle of the screen during this whole story?
That might not be a horrible idea, honestly. That might work. That might
Honestly,
help with the
no.
viewer
Yeah.
retention problem. You know, it's
Honestly,
like
yeah.
Okay, cool. Subway Surfers, here you go. Continue with your
fucking
Subway
run
Surfing
it.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we're playing the meta.
So Subway Takes, right? It's this guy on TikTok who like sits in a New York City subway and just interviews strangers, asking them for like a hot take or some shit. And you know, people say deranged shit, right? And so we were essentially doing a spoof on that called Speedrun Takes. So we just got random ass people that wandered into the practice room to give us like speedrunning hot takes and shit. So there's some real. We haven't aired any of those yet because like this Limey still needs to edit them. But there's some really fucking funny ones that I'm excited for. But yeah, I don't know.
That's a good pool. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good pool. Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
like
like,
if you used it
we
with a
have, like-
Deadpool.
Yeah. we didn't end up filming it, but we were joking as well of like doing like one of those where it was like I sat in the chair interviewing myself on a hot take or some shit like that, where it's just like bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We didn't have time to do something like that a lot. I think like if we got like more experience under our belts, like that was the big thing. It was very much like we got to like hone our craft a little bit and like really practice, which like for me, like I've always struggled with being at speedrunning events because yeah, I like do my runs and stuff, but then I just kind of sit there and not really have any kind of way to contribute or help out. But this was like the first time where I really felt like, oh, here's something that I'm good at that I can like bring to the table on the volunteer side. So yeah, so very fulfilling weekend for me. And then in addition to that, I also I believe Thursday, or was it Thursday? It might have been Thursday or Friday of the event. We did a retro game store trip, and Minneapolis like area in general just has like a lot of good retro stores. So because we were like away from the GDQ venue, we went to one of the ones that was kind of a bit closer to this venue, and I hit the fucking mother load. So
Not to be confused with
time for
Mothership
another-
from Metroid Samus.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Cool.
Something
was
like
good?
that. We'll work on it.
Nice.
shit.
I nailed that one?
Right.
Cool.
You got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
I just didn't know the name of the thing. I got there, though.
Yeah.
You know, I just made it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We made it.
Yeah.
We made it.
You took a golf swing not quite knowing where the hole was, but it rolled back onto the green, so we're fine. You
That's
know,
true.
it's
I
like-
got in the hole. You know, people have been saying that I got in the hole.
Nestani,
I don't think
no
anybody's
more
ever said that.
Anyway, so
I never did.
Yeah, we know Cole.
people have been saying this. So it's time for everyone's favorite fucking segment on this podcast. All of one people. It's the Jaxler goes through his retro games haul. So first place we went to,
Screen.
yeah, first place we went to. I got a couple of things. The first one was this GameCube pick called Looney Tunes Back in Action, which just looks like 3D platformer action adventure game. So this is going into my pot.
I think we should just could combine it there. I think that works.
Like action platformer into
it's
a platformer, yeah,
game.
the plaction.
It's a plaction game.
Plaction.
Honestly, you have
Metroidvania.
Metroidvania.
Fire.
I kind of fuck with it.
Yeah.
But we're defining a new genre here.
Yeah, we got plaction games like Scooby-Doo 900 Frights and Super Mario 64.
Exactly. But yeah, no, this is pretty much going in the stack of stuff I want to play on stream that's like speedrun scouting sort of thing, where I'm just like,
oh god,
is this sauce or is this like shit from an ass? You know, it's like,
is this weak sauce?
Is this weak sauce? Exactly. Because you kind of never know with like
Michael here.
Vsauce, Michael here. Raven Simone has done it again. Anywho,
Oh, no.
Green Suigi has done it again.
So the next couple of ones on this bit, somehow I all got like complete in box, which when we get to the third one in this batch, like is fucked up. I'll just say. So the first one I got was The Legend of Alon Da'ar, and apparently it's like I think like an ARPG or some shit. But whenever I don't know, I see a name like this and I'm like, this is probably funny. And it's also a PS2 exclusive, so. Whenever I like find something,
condition,
is that shit sealed?
It is sealed, yeah. Sealed, and I got it for like $20, which is like fucked up.
Hang the fuck on. Dude.
And then the other two are also sealed, but these are like two games that I've like had in my like budget for like the past, I want to say 4 or 5 years. So it was like, oh, here they are. I'm going to cry about it a little bit later, but here they are. So the first one is Crazy Taxi 2.
Nice.
Yeah, which I got Crazy Taxi 1, and I kind of wanted to mess around with both just because, like, again, like, Dreamcast exclusives. Well, Crazy Taxi 1 I don't think is exclusive, but this one definitely is.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, no.
And then you can get a band to play with you on DDQ stage.
Yeah.
You gotta
That would be
follow that
cool.
meta now, yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
We gotta
I
gotta
remember.
follow
I think
meta
I heard
of-
about somebody submitting like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater submission with like the idea of like a live DJ
Yeah.
set, or no, that was maybe like JSRF or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's JSRF.
But yeah, Crazy Taxi 2. Somehow I got that sealed. Pain.
That's crazy.
Yeah, pain.
Taxi. Taxi. All right, keep going.
Yeah, and so the last one from this particular trip, I basically grabbed this on frame 1. So Cosmic, you might be familiar with this. It's Tulip. I have been looking for this game for like 6 or 7 years, and they just had a sealed copy of it, just in a glass case. Normally this goes for like $330. I somehow got it for like $220. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
Jesus.
But yeah, this
Sorry,
game is like
you said $220 like dollars.
why is it?
yes,
220.
Which
Why?
I feel like
yes.
I've seen that game before,
I
but
need this.
Why is it 220? Why is it 330? Why is it either of those numbers for?
This game like barely got printed in the States. That's why.
yeah, that makes sense.
It's like it got an English release, but it's like it didn't sell very well. Similar. It's made by the Chibi Robo people. If that makes any sense.
Okay.
This was the
I'm
game.
here.
This was the.
I get it.
This was the
Never
game.
mind.
Yeah. This was the game they made before they made Chibi Robo. And
so it's like Diet Chibi Robo. It's like Scooby-Doo 900 Frights.
Not quite. This is a game where you go around kissing people. This is a game where you go around trying to get. Yeah, this is a game where you go around trying to get consent to kiss people. Imagine Mario 64, but instead of getting stars, you kiss people.
That's not a good sell. You should sell it differently.
It's fucking weird and it's fucking banger. Trust me. But yeah, I've been trying to find this for like 5 years. It's been in my budget, so it's like finally like that's been taken care of. And then I found some pieces of dog shit in like the exhibition hall.
As you do.
Incredible.
As you have to.
I found a Wii Classic controller that's kind of like the buttons are all there, the pads are all fine. Hey. It's just nasty as shit. I don't have that one. So I'm gonna see if I can try to like restore this and like I don't know. Maybe like
they're really easy to open up. So like you just crack it open.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably the exact same as a GameCube controller.
Like this left stick in particular is, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of fucking filthy.
Yeah.
So like
I'm filthy. Oh my god.
But it's like the buttons aren't like stuck or anything like that. It's just like because like there's only a handful of games you'd probably want to use this for, so it's like it probably got used a bit and then got left in the bin somewhere, right?
Right.
So
yeah, Mario Kart Wii.
Exactly. Ooh, this would be fun to play Mario Kart Wii on. So the next one I got is another one of those like console exclusive sort of things from like 5th, 6th gen. It's called Body Harvest.
I love harvesting bodies.
Right. So I figured you'd be really excited when I pulled this up.
Yeah.
Apparently this is like a third-person shooter, like action, like plaction adventure game. If we're gonna keep going with that.
Yes.
Apparently this is one of those like hidden gem type of games. So I saw a copy of it and I didn't have it, so I was like. I don't know. I've for some reason I haven't like run any N64 games, so I've been kind of curious. So yeah. And then the last one, which I got for like $6, that I'm maybe the most excited for not the right reasons.
Oh no.
Is Superman: The Man of Steel. This is an OG Xbox exclusive, and I could find barely. There's no SRC page. I could find barely any information about this, and like I looked up on YouTube like Superman the Man of Steel reviews, and the title of the video is like, is this the worst Superman game? Is this worse than Superman 64? And I'm like, oh baby.
That means it's gonna be good,
dude.
So it's like based off the comics as opposed to but here's the thing.
Surely you
right?
walk through the wall, right? And just like do some bullshit,
right?
You know, like.
So like my whole thing is like I have a much higher tolerance for like weirdness and kind of dog shit exactly than most do. So like it could have I think this review was like from ages ago. Yeah, it's like 5 years ago. So it could be one of those things like people are
that
just
was 2020 by the way. I don't know if it's ages ago. It's 5 years ago, but okay.
But funny enough as well, apparently Superman is in this game is voiced by Jeff Kramer, who like most people don't know that name off the bat, but it's the same guy who voiced like the main character in Deadly Premonition, which means like that's like Deadly Premonition. For those who don't know, is like the classic like game that is dog shit, but it's so dog shit in a funny way that people like.
It horseshoes back around. Yeah,
exactly. It's like the perfect so bad it's good game.
Yeah, it's like effectively like Twin Peaks as a video game.
Yeah. And the guy who voiced the main character in that game, which is like half the reason that game is so dog shit funny, is the voice of Superman in this game. So it's like, yeah, like, no, it was funny too, because like the seller was like, had never heard of the game before and was like trying to look up information to see like if it was something like worth like pricing over. So he was just like $6. And I'm like, deal. And I just shook his hand. And I fucking took his. I took that.
So dog shit. Even the seller's like, dude, I don't even know.
I don't even know, man. Yeah, $6. And I'm like, deal.
So just to let you know, you got that game at like half of what it's worth. So,
probably.
Oh, but it's like, $12. Woo, bargain bin.
But like
right
well, actually, it's the highest that I see right now is $16.99.
Oh,
so
that's pretty good.
That's like $10.
It's pretty good.
You could buy like one copy.
Yes,
I mean, it is.
Just
it doesn't have the manual, but it's like, the cover's in decent shape. Like,
I thought you were gonna say it doesn't have the disc in it.
No, that would have been funny.
That would have been really funny. He opens it up and goes, "Well, guess I'm not playing this."
There's some minor scratches, but like that's to be expected with OG Xbox games. But it's like nothing I can't get resurfaced. Yeah. So I'm like morbidly curious to see what happens with this. I really want to play this on stream because this sounds like
streaming.
This sounds like content incarnate, and I really want to play it.
I hope it blows up your Xbox.
I hope it does too, because again, that's just a thumbnail. Like a broken Xbox, that's just a thumbnail, right?
True.
Like,
pipe bomb.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, like the vibes, like to kind of put everything in a bow. Like Midwest Speedfest was just awesome this weekend. Like I got to meet a bunch of new people, especially from like that Mario Kart 64 Diddy Kong Racing scene that's like very specific to the Midwest area. So that was pretty cool. And just getting to like kind of grow into like the on-camera talent side of things, I think is really exciting, because it's like, it's direction for me, right? Where it's like, I've had this thing where I've wanted to find some way to help grow the speedrunning community and like mentor people in some way, or like do something like, obviously like running the games and like building communities for like the small games. That's still really important to me. But like, I got to do more than just that if I want to make sure that speedrunning is still healthy, you know, once my hands break. Right. So I don't know. That's the TLDR on Speedfest. The VODs will be up like I said, about a week later. And then if you follow Midwest Speedfest on Blue Sky, you might see this ugly mug doing some social media type content. So
ad, gifted.
Hashtag please make all the effort we put into it slightly worthwhile.
Damn, he said slightly. That's crazy word.
Wow.
Well, not slightly. I will say, like, at least on Blue Sky, like, a lot of the stuff we've been posting has actually been doing, like, pretty solid, like, numbers wise. Like, I was talking to Limey about it, and it's like our posts are like hanging tight with some of like GDQ's. Like GDQ had like a Oops All Dark Souls thing this weekend, and like some of our stuff was like outperforming what they were putting up for that. So that was pretty cool to see. And that might just be like a Blue Sky thing, but like, I don't know.
Maybe.
Considering we're not GDQ, I think that's pretty good. But yeah, that was my weekend. I got back yesterday and I fucking slept for like 18 hours. So I'm very grateful that as one does.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my weekend.
Awesome.
So don't really.
Sounds like a good weekend to me, to be honest, dude. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You sound like
Hell yeah.
like in pain. Like, are you okay, Cosmic? Like, do you have a rough weekend in contrast, or?
No, I just have a really raspy
that's just
voice
his voice.
Sometimes.
You know,
that's just his voice. Okay.
He's just existing. You know.
Yeah, this is just what your default. Like, this is like what your 5 out of 10.
Yeah, he's default.
Yeah, there was a guy at work the other day that I was just helping him out and being very, very matter of fact about everything. And I don't know what it is about like 50 to 60-year-old guys that are at financial institutions, but they always want to joke around. Okay. And like, I don't know if everybody else in their life just laughs at what they say, regardless of how funny it is. But
they're probably rich, so they probably do. They probably do laugh.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, they're like, oh, well, he'll probably buy me like a really expensive drink if I laugh, so I'm just going to laugh.
Yeah, the more
unfortunately,
you laugh,
this guy,
the more they get paid, you know.
So, unfortunately for him, it is not legally permissible for me to take tips or anything, so I'm not going to laugh at anything
Imagine
he says
if you
unless it's actually
your
funny.
Your financial institution, that would be
right, exactly.
That would be like,
if you
or like take a
for like depositing my fucking check, like
well, that's what you do with. That's just what you do with the ATM. That's just what you do with the ATM when you drop money off there.
That is true.
Yeah, actually, just
when you take the.
Hey, that's why I just get ATM. That's why I bug those people at the desk, because I don't have to pay them 25 cents because I'm not doing it. Okay. I'm gonna walk in there and be like, hey, can you deposit this $50 bill into my account? I don't care. I'm annoying you. You do it.
That's like why like it like that ATM shit like sneaks up on you and adds up. It's like actually like it depends too. Like,
I've never used an ATM in my life.
I've used an ATM plenty of times, but it's always been with one that has no surcharge. So, because there's a lot around here. So, and I mean, like,
or if
the
it's
other
like
thing too is that
if it's like from your own bank, then you probably don't get surcharged. Like at least
it's just exactly
as like a loyalty thing. But it's just like, what are we doing here?
It's also just like, why do I have to find very specific ATMs to go to? I'm just going to go to the bank. Like, if I'm going to have to go somewhere to go to this specific ATM, I'm just going to go to the bank. Like, I don't know.
Where they get you is really if you're in the city. Like, if you're in a city and you just don't know where the nearest bank is
that was
or the
the
nearest
annoying
branch.
thing at Speedfest, because like the on-site concessions like only took cash, and like it was like the whole
That's
like venue
weird.
for the place is like exactly, it is weird. Like,
normally it's the opposite.
Like,
normally they won't take cash, which annoys the fuck out of me.
Normally they won't take cash, or it's like, you'd think you'd like at least let you charge it to like the room or some shit, right? But
Anything
like,
for
no.
real.
That's
literally
bizarre.
anything else other than cash, and it was like,
dude,
really?
I just want to say, just on that topic, I really hate the fact that like you go to concerts now and you can't just like give them cash for the fucking shit.
Yeah.
Because I always go to
merch.
because here's the thing is that like you go and you're like you have to guess 50-50 because some only take cash, some only take card, and it doesn't even depend on like how big they are. I've had some local artists that don't take cash, that they're like, yeah, we don't take cash, we only do card. And I'm like, what do you, you're a local artist, shut the fuck up. Like, where are you at? But like, because I was like, I was just gonna give you the money, but I guess not. But like, and then B, like you go to like fucking like a concert, and then like they randomly do take cash, and they're like, we don't take card. And I'm like, what? And
what are we doing here?
I'm just tired of it because I also like to I like cash in a concert setting. I don't know why, but I like paying for merch with cash. I don't know. I don't know if this is just a me thing, but like every single time, like I just went to a concert, guys. Went to see Poppy.
Whoa.
Hey.
Yeah, dude, I fucking saw your Blue Sky post like from the crowd.
Yeah.
And that shit looked crazy.
It was a good time. It was a great time. But I went to see Poppy, by the way, banger concert in Atlanta, of course, because you go to Atlanta for concerts and not Nashville because Nashville sucks fucking dick. And so we go to Atlanta, where the cool people are at and where people know how to have fun at concerts. No shade to Nashville, but full shade. I live in the middle of Nashville and Atlanta, so like I can literally pick and choose. Like it doesn't matter. It's a 3-hour drive regardless. But so yeah, I went to see Poppy. Incredible performance. She kind of killed it. It was pretty interesting to see like the mix live because like she used to be like this like primarily like a pop artist and like not good. I would just say I don't like her old music. I just don't.
Fair enough.
I think it's bad, straight up. But
I feel like most people's old music is kind of shit, right? Like,
no,
I feel like,
it's the opposite for so many bands. Like Metallica, for example. I hate everything Metallica's ever made. Let's be very clear. But a lot of people really like their first album. Motionless in White, a band that I actually like. Creatures is their best album by a mile, and their newest album is literally a Breaking Benjamin knockoff, and it's dog shit. So like, I don't. It really depends on the band. Like the more it's very split. But regardless, what was I saying? Oh, her newest album is really good. So I was just like, you know what? I'll go see her live. Like, why not? Like, I haven't been to a concert in a while. And I was just like, I kind of just want to go to one. And then I was like, you know what? I like this album enough. And it was just a good time. I got in the pit twice. I got bruises, and then like the other day, I was just like, "Where did these bruises come from?" Because I'm like, I don't bruise. And then I was just like, oh, I went into the pit twice. Like that's why I have.
That's what's gonna happen.
But I like it literally took me like 15 seconds to like process that, and I felt really dumb afterwards. And I was just like, duh, where were you like a couple days ago, man? Like I don't know.
Doofus.
But and then circling all the way back, and then like I have to, well, I don't have to, but I buy merch. I got the sickest shirt of all time. I might actually go get it because it's actually so sick. But I bought this one and another shirt because the shirt was so sick. And then I also bought a pair of sweatpants that doesn't have pockets in it, so I got scammed, and I'm very upset about it. Like not even one pocket.
That's like half the point of sweatpants.
If it had one pocket, I could wear it out and it's fine. But since it has 0 pockets, because I carry a backpack everywhere, I can just throw my keys in my wallet and my backpack and phone in the pocket. Now I'm like, I have to throw everything in my back. I'm not doing that.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so that's kind of cringe. But regardless,
pretty cringe.
Card only, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then like when I went to see Architects, it was also card only, and I don't like card only because I like bringing a set amount of money. Because I also think it's a fun game where I'm like, I have $100. What am I going to do with it? Rather than just being like, I'll just spend whatever. Like, I don't like that, me personally. But that's probably just because I'm broke as fuck. Anyway, I'm going to grab this shirt.
Yeah. It's like one of those things where, like, the limitations makes it more fun. Like, whenever we were, like, in game dev school and, like, we got, like, a prompt that was, like, really funky or to do something weird, that's often when we, like, made the best shit, is when we kind of had those, like, limiters, if you will. Yeah.
It's like that scene in Evangelion.
Oh
Isn't
my
this the
god!
coolest
Okay,
fucking shit
that
you've
is
ever
so
seen?
Pretty
sick.
tight.
Holy
really
shit!
This shit
That's
is
like
fire.
that's
It is single-handedly the coolest shirt I own now, for sure.
Yeah.
It's not close, dude. I saw that and I was like, I have to buy that. Normally, I like the ones with the tour dates on the back of it, so I can be like, yeah, I went to see her on tour, yippee, because I just like tour date shirts, because it makes me feel better than you when I've seen an artist live and you haven't, and I like that superiority over you. Not really. I just like the dates. It's just like because I like having the date on the back, so I know which year I saw them. Anyway, it doesn't matter. No one cares.
Yeah.
But I saw that shirt and I was like, am I really gonna buy 2 shirts for an artist that I don't really fuck with? Yes. Yes.
Oh, so you don't even really fuck with Poppy like that?
I really like her new album, like Negative Spaces. I really, really like that album, but I don't like anything else that she's ever made. Well, I can't say that, but like, I haven't listened to everything that I've listened that before here. I did not like, but this album I really like because it's like more of a. She leans very heavily more into metalcore in this album rather than like the pop stuff or like the heavy rock stuff, because I don't really like hard rock or like whatever. And so she kind of, because she's been kind of slowly transitioning to the rock stuff, and then now she's like, all right, we're like metalcore. Like she hopped on that song with Knock Loose, Suffocate, banger song. Really good album. That was my album of the year last year.
I still need to go listen to that album. Like I just haven't.
Good. But yeah, and so now she's like super like deep into metal, but she still has a couple songs that are like pretty like more like pop, and I think I just think it's a really cool like infusion, because now it's like metalcore and like this pop thing kind of mixed together, and it's a really cool blend on this album. I cannot vouch for anything else, but yeah, it was kind of troll because I was just like, I don't really like you that much, but your merch is so cool that I'm gonna buy it.
You might as well.
And that's how they get me, because here's the thing. I own like 2 pieces of Valkyrie merch. I don't watch Valkyrie at all.
Yeah.
But her clothes are fucking cool, bro. Like her clothes are sick. So I buy them because they're just really cool designs. I'm like, this is a really cool design. I'm going to buy it. And that kind of got owned by Poppy there. But, overall, though, very, very good. And I'm seeing Pierce the Veil next month, which I am so excited about. I've been wanting to see them for years. It's the first time I'm going to be able to see them.
Is this another Atlanta trip?
Oh, of course. Atlanta.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. And then this summer I'm going to see Architects in Nashville, and I might also go see them in Atlanta because I don't have school, so I might just go to 2 shows back to back.
You might just go to both. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I have that money to do that, but we'll see. I am heavily thinking about it because I bought the Nashville ticket and I was like, dude, I kind of just want to go to Atlanta. And then after I went down to Atlanta like the other day, I was just like, man, I really wish I bought the Atlanta ticket. I just like Atlanta so much better. I also like the drive to Atlanta better. It's just a very pretty drive. Like southern Tennessee, like northern Georgia is just a very, very pretty area. Versus like in the middle of East Tennessee, and Nashville is just like a barren wasteland of garbage, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just,
I will say, once you like actually get towards Atlanta, driving through Atlanta, kind of dog shit. But like if your destination is in Atlanta,
driving through any big city though is troll. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're just gonna get rolled at every single big city. It doesn't really matter,
Yeah, unless you're like in the Midwest. Like if it's something like anything in India isn't too hard to drive through. But like
because they have like some like bypass things or whatever. But it just depends. But like.
Yeah, it really depends.
I don't know. For cities, I'm just like, if I go to like a major city like Nashville, Atlanta, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna sit in traffic. Like, although I actually kind of left at like the perfect time where I left around like 4 my time, so I skipped all the traffic like near me, and then by the time I hit Chattanooga, which is south of me, it was like at like 6, like it was like late 5, like early 6. So I skipped most of Chattanooga's traffic as well, and then I got to Atlanta at like 7, like 7-ish, and so like a lot of the Atlanta traffic was finally and I was like, this is good. And so now that I know that, I'm like, I leave at 4 o'clock, I dodge all the traffic for all 3 cities. I was like,
holy shit,
this is good.
Cooking something.
But Nashville, I just get on because, and also Nashville, you have to deal with the time change too, which is really, really annoying.
It's like part of it in Central.
Yeah, because you would think that like because it's a 2.5 hour drive to Nashville and it's a 3 hour drive to Atlanta, and so you would think, I get back later from Nashville than I do Atlanta. Like I got home at like 1:30.
Yeah.
Now the show did end at like 10:30 and I got home at 1:30. And maybe I wasn't driving the speed limit, but still 1:30 is pretty good time. I'm just saying. And
Hey, that's
I stopped
good.
like twice. So
Yeah.
And that was pretty solid though. I was very, very, very happy about that. And then because then I wasn't dead the next, because obviously I have to wake up and go to work. Fucking bitch.
Yeah.
But hey, it was a good time though.
So you do the drive there and back in one day, pretty much?
Yeah, yeah, down and back. Yeah, I had to drop one of my classes, but I haven't missed a single class in the one that I dropped. So I was just like, hey, dude, I'm not going to be there on Thursday. I'm going to a concert.
Fair trade.
Yeah, and so then I always down and back, like every single concert though. I always go to wherever I'm going, and then I come back because haha, my city doesn't have anything that comes through that's cool ever at all. We have a cool local scene, but like nothing like really good, unfortunately. So if I want to see anyone that with a following, it's Nashville or Atlanta. And I think now it's just going to become Atlanta. I think I'm kind of over Nashville. I think it's time. Because I also saw Churches in Atlanta as well, which is one of the best concerts I've ever been to. So, Now, that's also just because it's fucking Churches and they put on a great live show. But also just the energy in that room is just the energy in Atlanta is just better than the energy in Nashville. I hate to say it, guys. I know none of you care because you're not from the South. But a lot of people from the South care about that stuff. And I'm just saying, for all the people in the South that watch the podcast, all zero of you, honestly. There's probably zero people, but all zero of you, they care about that. And I'm just saying, Nashville is kind of whack. I've definitively, I gave Nashville its chances. I'm going to Atlanta, bro.
Am I the
Also,
only
there's
one
black
who's
people in
never
Atlanta,
been
and
to a
it's cool.
concert?
I
You've
also
never
really
been to
haven't been to a concert.
Really?
If you don't count Midwest, if you don't count VGM Con, because it's like I've never explicitly gone to a place just to go to a concert. Like,
That's honestly, it's not that wild. For me, it was like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I didn't really get into listening music of my own volition until I got into like late high school or early college.
Same.
Like it was just much more like, oh, I'm just gonna listen to whatever my mom and dad put on the radio, and like that's it. Like, because I was just so in on video game shit, right? But like, no, because I didn't have friends who were into music like that either. So it was
same.
like,
dude, I literally listened to like the same like 60 rap songs like my entire life growing up until like 2015 when I got Spotify for the first time, and then my fucking world opened up, and then I could listen to anything. And then I quickly like stopped listening to rap music pretty much altogether.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, don't like
That's
fuck with
crazy.
hip hop like that no more. Like I was gonna say,
I'm very particular, but here's the thing: is that like I think what I've realized now is that I'm just very particular about every single genre. Like I don't really like stay in a genre too hard. I'm like I have like 2 or 3 or 4 people that I really like in a genre, and I'll like consume everything from them. But then like everything else kind of like bounces off of me a little bit.
Kind of like me with Fleet Foxes, where it's like I don't normally listen to folk, but Fleet Foxes is just so damn good.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, like because for me, like it was the same where I never went to any concerts growing up, like zero, and then it never like it was so crazy. Like I never even had the concept that concerts existed, if that makes sense, and that I could go to them. Like I knew that like concerts like existed because you see the Grammys and people performing the Grammys, but you don't think you can go to that. Like I can't go and see someone live. That's like it was never a thing ever in my head.
For me growing up too, it was like a like a allowance cost sort of thing where it's like it's like I could either like save up my money to go to a concert, or I could save up my money for a video game that I could get like way much more bang for my buck out of, right?
Damn, this guy got a fucking allowance. That's crazy. I didn't have any of that shit.
It wasn't much. But, it was like off doing chores and shit, but like it wasn't like anything insane.
Yeah,
it was
the
like
usual like white people Midwest shit,
bucks.
You do the chores, you get like $2. Yippee.
Yeah, like $2. Yeah, it's like nothing insane, but it's like
yeah,
like it like
Child
it's like
labor costs.
Exactly, child labor. Yeah.
Yeah. For me though, like I basically like didn't know they existed, and then I didn't know that I could go to them, and then eventually I got pretty into metal, and then one of my friends was like, hey, do you want to go see Motionless in White live? And I'm like, wait, sure. I've never been to a concert. Sure, I'm down. And I still remember this concert to this day. I remember walking up to the venue. I remember being in the venue. It's one of the few things that I remember like almost clear as day in my mind. And I remember going ape shit. And he was like, I remember at one point, it was like in the middle of concert, he was just like, dude, you're kind of going crazy. Like everyone's kind of like looking at you. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Cause like Motionless in White was my favorite band at that point, because that was like right before they released Graveyard Shift. And so if any of you like Motionless in White, you're going to know that that's their last really good album that they launched. Cause Creatures, 10 out of 10 album, Infamous, really good album, Reincarnate, really good album. So they had like just a really good discography at the time. And so I went absolutely insane. And then after that, I had my whole being unlocked, and I'm like, I like going to concerts, and then I spam them like all 2018, 2019. That was like the thing that I did. Like that's where all my money went. I just went and saw everyone, everything, and I don't know. I think concerts are so cool, which is like, I don't know, because part of me is like, it's kind of crazy that neither of you have gone to a concert, but also, for so long in my life, I was like, I can't go to it. Like, I didn't know it existed, you know? And so
the other thing is, if you wanted to go to a concert, you had to go into the city. And like, that was really far away from me growing up. So like, that was
it just 3 hours like, far, or
not like 3 hours far, but like, because it's not,
but yeah, I know what you mean.
Because the other thing is my dad worked so fucking much, and he was like he would have been the person I went to concerts with, and he like, especially when I was in like middle school, he was just like so fucking busy that he'd like just come home and just go like be done.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I kind of appreciate like, especially when we were at VGM Con, like just like walk. What happened? I didn't even recognize. Like,
What?
I was just gonna say that. Oh, I know why Cole hasn't gone to any concerts, because none of the Beatles fucking toured. All the people he likes are dead.
Well, that's what I was. No, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say everybody I listen to is dead, or they're so old that they don't tour anymore. So I literally do not care, and it's even more criminal because I live like 10 minutes away from a concert like hall, like venue place. Like I can sometimes, if they're very loud, I can hear it.
That's crazy.
I don't know who they are, but yeah. So I literally could well, I mean, it'd be kind of a long walk, but I could walk and go see a concert, and I just haven't, because I really just don't care who is over there.
Damn.
At all. Yep.
Are you gonna go see King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard?
Unfortunate.
It could probably be really fun live.
I guess.
They
I feel like I don't really know their
live.
discography that well in order to.
Bro, it doesn't matter. You can just have fun at a
concert.
concert. I literally just went to Poppy. I only know one album. She played so many songs I'd never heard before.
I guess, but I'd want to go to a concert to hear like. Well, that's the other thing too, is that there's some bands that I feel like it would just suck live. Like I would just like I don't know.
Speak on that.
Like I would rather just listen to like studio mixes and stuff like that. Like I'm a big prog rock guy.
You've never been to a concert.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hate listening to live albums. What really pissed me off.
Sorry, I just have to say, I have to interrupt you really quickly.
That's
live
fine.
albums and live music are completely two separate things, and it sounds nothing alike. You can never capture what it's like to be in a live performance, just like in general. And that's mainly due to the actual soundscape and the actual sound system, because when you're on there, the bass is hitting you in your fucking chest, and you feel the room, and you feel everyone, and there's a lot more sounds going on. And even though you can technically hear the crowd and you can technically hear the bass, like it's not like hitting you.
It's also mixed for that event space as opposed to being mixed for a live album recording.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like it's meant to be a different experience, right?
Yeah. So I will fight you on that. But go ahead with your point. that just like tilted me. Because I hate when people say that. I'm not interested in going to see live music because live albums suck. And I'm like, yeah, it's because they're live albums. They're just like recorded. Of course, it's not as good as the studio thing.
Spread the gospel a little bit and let us know.
Doing right now. What do you mean?
Well, good. And I'm talking to the people watching who got like a bigger reach, you know, like you know, like
you saying I don't got that
spread
reach?
the web of info.
I don't got that reach around.
I don't know.
Whoa.
What's your wingspan, man?
This.
You might as well just be saying, I don't want to have sex. I'd rather watch porn. Like,
I mean, it's more convenient. I don't have to go anywhere.
Oh my god.
It's right there.
Holy shit.
I think that's the hardest I've ever heard him laugh on this podcast.
I was not ready for that.
I was not ready for that at all, bro. Oh my god.
He's like, Cosmic has been like not talking this whole like album or like concert conversation. And then,
well, that's because he knows that I'm spitting right now, and he's like, yeah, because I know that he's been to a concert, and I know that he gets it. But anyway, you can continue with what you're saying, Cole.
But the other thing about a concert is, listen, because I've gone to some conventions and I've met like celebrities and stuff, and after I've done that, I'm like, that's it. Like, I just kind of just said hi. Like, I wish I had like a full conversation, but like if I go to a concert, I feel like I'm just gonna listen to the song I've already heard, or a song that I'll just be like, okay, and then I'll be like, I could have just done this at home. Like, nothing really changed. But that's just, but I don't know. I've never been to a concert.
Here's the thing, though,
So
is that you're
everything
not
I'm saying is
screaming and you're
bullshit.
not dancing at home, and you're not like jumping up and down to the shit.
I don't know,
Like,
you
you're
might
not
be wrong on
completely
that.
I do
free
that
at
when I'm home alone.
Okay.
I only
don't
sing
think you
when
do.
like I only
I do.
belt when like no one is near me. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that it kind of gives you the key to do that and to be free. Like, mainly
because no
going
one
to
can hear how
do that in
bad
the
you
car
are
all the time.
when you're at a
and
concert.
no one cares, because everyone else is also screaming and they're like listening, and it's just like it's just a good time. I just think that you should find a band that you like somewhat and just go see them live. Because some people just don't like concerts. Like, my sister doesn't like concerts because it's just too loud and it like overstimulates her or whatever.
That's an okay reason.
And
right?
like, that's cool. Also, just want to say, if you go to a concert, wear earplugs, please.
Yes.
Don't be that guy.
Unless it's like jazz, but like even then, it's like you should still probably.
I literally have earplugs on my keys. I literally carry them with me everywhere I go.
oh, wow.
Please use earplugs
That's kinda smart.
if you go to see a concert.
Save your hearing.
It's really
Yeah, I
good.
would have never thought about that at all.
Yeah, you can't get your hearing back. So,
Dude, I cannot name a band off the top of my head.
you could go see
that I would
Alex
wanna go see live.
Alejandro, blah, 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 whoever the fuck that guy you sent me, the Blue album.
Okay,
that was like
when
pretty
that
decent.
guy comes to Michigan, which will be like
He does sound foreign.
3 years,
So,
I don't know.
what else did you send me? I already forgot.
That'll be the one thing, and that's
Dude,
it.
I need.
Dude, I think you would like King
Indianapolis.
Gizzard live. Hold on. I wonder if they're touring right now.
Dude, I watched a video of them doing something live. I don't remember, and I stopped watching like 3 minutes in. And I was like, I don't care anymore.
I think the other thing for me is if I go to concert, I'd want to go with one of my family.
Bonnaroo.
Damn.
Oh
feel
boy, Bonnaroo, Michigan. I've heard of that place before.
But
know,
my
it's
thing is, I would
Manchester,
want to
Tennessee.
like the music that I would want to go see live potentially is like I would want to go see stuff with like family or friends, right? And for one, I don't have friends here, right? Like in person, especially because
I
like
don't have friends.
yeah, that is also true. Yeah, no, I have enemies on this podcast anyway. But like also like if I might go with my dad or my brother, and like they have very different music tastes than I do, so it's like. Because like I would not want to go to a concert by myself. I want to go like with people, and that's kind of where my issue is.
Yeah, same.
It feels a lot more like a social thing. It can be a lot more of a social thing. It doesn't have to be, but like
At least for my first concert, I'd want to go with somebody, because otherwise I'd have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Okay, that's.
I'll
give you.
I would have no
that.
idea.
Although I will say I definitely.
It's
have
like going to the gym. It's like the first time I went to the gym, I wanted to go with somebody so I knew what was going on, and now I feel more comfortable going to the gym.
like
by
the
myself.
etiquette, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to just fly up
So.
to Michigan, and I'll just take you to a concert. How about that?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm looking at.
I will
there's
say,
nothing.
yeah,
nothing.
they're not coming. I think the closest is MD. I don't know where MD is. I don't know what that means.
Maryland.
Oh, that's not close at all.
Yeah.
But this is where I'm going to lose
Jesus. people,
people, though. I actually prefer going to concerts alone, I think.
I kind of feel the same way, to be honest. It's one of those things where like the amount of people that I've gone to concerts with over the years has kind of like shrunk in terms of like the size, because it used to be like a big affair, right, for like the family and I to go, or myself and some friends to go, or like family friends to go. And eventually like it just kind of whittled down to like me going with one other person, or maybe one or two other people. And then there was a point where like that person wasn't really in my life actively anymore. We were like friends and all, but I just wasn't around them. And like when I went to go and see Julian Baker, I was just kind of like, I'm just going to go by myself. That's it, you know? And when like I look at, what is it? I think Between the Buried and Me is
good band.
They're touring right now. I believe it's Between the Buried and Me. It's either them or Polyphia. I forget which one. But like my friend of like 20 years might be going to that, so I'll probably go with him. But other than that, like most of the time when I look at concerts, I'm usually looking like, do I feel like going to this by myself? Because that's probably who I'm going to have to sell on this, is just myself. Because like I think Soft Cult is maybe coming to Philadelphia in like June or something. And I hate navigating Philly, but it's also like 50 minutes. Worst case scenario, I just try and rope Kios and his wife into seeing Soft Cult in Philly, which I'm sure there's harder things on planet Earth than getting Kios to go to a concert for a band called Soft Cult, you know. But it's like, I don't know, man. I think when I go to a concert, like even when I'm with a bunch of other people, like I'm really not tuned into many other people other than like how I'm kind of feeling.
Yeah.
You know, and I think this is kind of the disconnect, really, is that like for Cole probably at least, is that especially if you're seeing something like a song that means a lot to you, you know, or a song that you really love, like hearing it in person is distinctly quite different than hearing it on the studio version. It might be less clean than the studio version, you know, but I mean, unironically, the sex metaphor is kind of apt here because it is quite different from like thinking about it or like leading up to having sex, rather than like, you know, experiencing that with somebody that you are like, that you care about. What's up? I know you're all virgins. What's your question?
A different thing. Like whenever you're talking about like hearing like a song that like means a lot to you or whatever, like it's more of akin to like, imagine you're in like a torrential like downpour like in your car, right? And it's just like,
that's true, yeah.
And then you go into a tunnel and then it's just silence, right? And it's just like, and that like that feeling, that like relief, that peace. That's what it's like hearing one of your favorite. It's also fentanyl. Yes,
I was going to say, isn't this the fucking fentanyl metaphor?
I am stealing this from the fentanyl metaphor, but I was driving in a torrential downpour on the back from Poppy, and I was like, dude, this like feeling is like how I felt when I was listening to certain song. Anyway, but like that's like how it feels though, where like everything just kind of goes away and it's just you in the song, even though there's a bunch of people making a bunch of noise, whatever, you don't hear any of that, and it's just you and the artist on stage.
And also just like the between song transitions as well, or like kind of that like bottom of the valley when you're like, there's kind of that anticipation of what's going to come next, like that also is kind of its own like thing that you don't get, right? Because like I think the one concert I'm kind of using as my frame of reference was at a previous Midwest Speedfest VGM Con. It was Carlos Eni, aka Insane in the Rain, who's like done a ton of shit with like jazz covers and remixes of like video game music. And so like he did like a mix of like video game covers and some of his own original shit on like tenor sax and iwi, and just kind of like that anticipation of like what he was going to play next and kind of like where the vibe was going was like super sick. He finished on Bramble Blast, which is like my favorite cover of his. Fire. And and it was like not originally part of the set list, but because like they had gotten in there early and they were like ahead on schedule, he's like, all right, we'll throw in Bramble Blast there at the end. And like the guy, because there's that one like bass riff, if you've heard that song from it's from Smash Bros. Brawl. There's like this one bass riff that's like pretty like iconic for it, and the guy who was playing bass for that group was doing it on like a fretless bass, and it just sounded like fucking cool. Perfect. Yeah. It was just like, anywho, because it's like that recording is. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think another point to Yes and Cosmic kind of to add, I think another, like the biggest reason for me why I like going to see concerts alone over someone else is the fact that whoever I'm going with, it is almost for certain that they do not like the artist as much as me. Like, almost certainly. Like, there's a couple times where, like, it's been kind of reversed and, like, I'm the one that doesn't really like the artist, because I used to have a concert buddy that I went to shows with before he moved away. But like, I remember last year I went to see Architects for the first time with my buddy Johnny, and he doesn't really like he's not super into Architects, but he's not super out of it. But he was like, it's a UK band, like I'll go see Architects, fuck it. And we're like best friends and we have a lot of fun. But also it was just kind of this thing where I'm like, he was like next to me and it was just like blah blah blah, blah. I just like being alone, and I also like the aspect of no one in this building knows who I am. I can do literally whatever I want, right? Yeah. And I can just like
you're not entertaining, like you're just experiencing the music. Like you don't have to worry about the social dynamic of whoever you brought with you or whoever you're with.
I don't have to talk to anyone. I don't have to do whatever. I can just be there, and then I can just like do whatever I want and just like go crazy, and there's no like perception. And like for me, it's very much like I finally get to just like release and just like I can just be one with the music and just have a great time. And I think also for me, because like music is probably the most important thing in my life, I would argue, besides like obviously like my fucking mom or like etc. Like you can list the things above it, but like in terms of like the regular stuff in the life, like music is probably at the top of my list. And so it's a very like I'm very like attached to it, and it's like kind of like my one thing that I have. Like I like, I'm not like this is gonna kind of sound funny, but like I don't really partake in many vices. Like I'm pretty like straight laced. Like I go like
straight edge.
I'm not like I'm not like blazing up or like I don't like drink and go to parties and have fun and like let loose or whatever. So like the time that I get to let loose as like a sober person is at a concert. And that's like kind of funny to think about, because most people, they go to concerts and they get fucking wasted. As you should. It might be fun, but like for me, that's like the one time where I'm like, all right, I can cut loose and I can just be like, let's just have some fun. And you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like no one's gonna be like, what are you doing? Like, why are you jumping to the song? Like, why are you being so loud? No one's going to do that. You know what I mean? Like the most that you'll get is if you're tall, there's going to be a girl behind you that'll be like, can you like move? And then you're like, dude, there's a big fucking building. You move, nigga. Like, why are you anyway? That's like the only thing that you're going to get. I'm like, there's a whole room. Just move to the left or right.
And I didn't realize we were at the stage of calling white girls the N-word. I mean, that's crazy.
Hey, I'm just saying, sometimes... Anyway, but yeah, TLDR, I just that's my reasoning, because it's just like I just like it. It's like it's also just kind of like my thing. It's kind of evolved to this point where it's like my thing, and I've had a concert buddy at some point. I've gone to many concerts with other people, but when I really really like a person, and even when I don't like even like Poppy, go and see her, it was definitely better because I did not know anyone there, and I did not and I could just like do it. And that's why like when I see Architects, I'm more excited to see Architects this summer because I'm going alone and I'm just going to be able to just like, and I guarantee it's going to be better than the last one. Because the last one was like solid, but I wasn't like, oh my God, what a fucking concert. Like I walked out of churches and I was like, holy shit, what a fucking concert. And that was me ISO'd by myself. So
yeah, that's another like I kind of get what you're saying. Because I've kind of had this thing with my brother, because like music for you is probably like gaming for me in a lot of ways. And my brother is very much someone who wants to like share in whatever game we're playing, especially if we're playing something at the same time. But I'm very much not like that. I very much want to have my experience with the thing, and like it's my own experience that I get to keep, and I don't have to fucking answer to anyone else how I feel about it or what it was like Right. It's also why I get like
I feel that.
I really get up about that, about spoilers, especially plot spoilers, for that reason, is because like I like to go in by myself with no expectations, right? So it's like, you know, I don't know if you get the same way if like someone posts like what a set list is at a given concert before you get there.
I don't care about that, but I was actually going to you actually reminded me of something. So like recently me and Cole like traded our like top 10 albums, right? And we like, I listened to all of his because I'm a sicko and I just have a very high tolerance. And he's been churning through mine slowly at his own pace because he has a fucking life and he was not on a plane for 5 hours. So, but I basically the TLDR is that he listened to Evanescence The Open Door, which is probably top 2 albums for me. It's probably my second favorite album of all time. And it's funny because he said to me, he's like, oh yeah, I really like this album. Like, you know, I like it for like working out or whatever. And I can't really give anything back to him. Like, I'm just like, cool. Like, even though like I love the album, it's kind of like what you were saying, Jax, where I'm just like, I don't know how to like open and be like, yeah, that's cool. But like also the other half of it is that it was kind of cool because Cole's like, yeah, this is a cool album to work out to. And I'm like, I have never, ever viewed that album as let me work out to this. It was just such a complete, and I think it's a cool perspective. Like, it's fine that he thinks that way. But it's just funny because like, I felt like I couldn't match his energy, even though it's something that I super, super duper like. But I felt like in the conversations that we've had about it, like I couldn't like match his excitement for like him discovering the album for the first time. And it's kind of weird because like it's my second favorite album all time. Like, I will tell everyone that I fucking love that album. But as soon as I'm like talking about it with someone that also likes it, it's kind of weird in a way. I don't know. I just like, I don't know how to talk about it or like relate in that aspect. Cause I don't know.
Cause well, for music especially, like I kind of understand what you're saying because like I think in English, but I don't necessarily think in sentences per se. I kind of like think in like mapping different ideas together.
I was so like, it's confused like when you're going. I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's like you're asking me to put words to like a feeling or like an experience that like maybe English isn't the best way to like describe, right? And like music's very like kind of a similar thing where, you know, people call music a universal language. But it's like, you know, sometimes translating the way that a piece of art made you feel into words, especially just in like casual conversation, is like really awkward and sometimes vulnerable in a way that I'm not always comfortable sharing with people.
I also think that like I can never describe like the way I feel about an album like ever. I think part of that is due to me. I'm just not good at words in English, right? I think that's part of it. But also, like, just to your point, I've always said this, and you all have probably heard me, but I think, like, music is a very primal, like, thing for me, where I'm just like, you either like
very deep in the human experience.
Yeah, like it's like in your fucking gut. Like, if you like something or you dislike something, and, like, it's kind of like, it's like the basis why I don't really like criticizing things or like reviewing things, like in terms of like art, like film critics I think are fucking stupid, for example, which is another conversation. But like the reason that I think that is because I think that like, how am I ever going to describe like the way that Now's Threads albums makes me feel to like someone else to like match that and like give them what it's not possible. Because it's just such a primal like feeling for me. Like you can't feel that unless you're in me. Ayo. I'm so sorry. I saw the opportunity. I had to go for it. Damn. But, like I just
I didn't know you were built like that, dude. That's crazy. You know, I mean, I respect it.
I think part of that though is just like a deficiency, right? But like, because I'm not like Cosmic. I'm not very good with my words. I'm not eloquent. I can't just like speak into like what I'm feeling. It's just not like I can't describe things like that. And it's just never been my skill. But like I know what I feel when I'm like, you know, listen to the song. And that's why like I never really have fucked with like music reviews or anything, because it's just like I just feel it. And I think that's why it's also hard for me to talk to someone about like music in depthly. Like I can be like, yeah, I like this. Oh, you like it too? Cool. And that's kind of where I want to leave it. I'm like, Shake hands.
Or like maybe it becomes a further conversation where it's like, oh, do you have you heard this? Do you fuck with it? Do you not? Right?
Yeah, or like
cool.
yeah, it's like and like kind of surface level of like, oh, I like the way the vocals did this, or like the blah 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 blah. But like as soon as you start going like any deeper than like minor specifics, that's where I'm kind of like, I feel like you kind of lose me in that, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if that speaks to anything deeper with me or not.
The metaphor, yeah. But like to kind of put this on a bow, like the metaphor, like the example I like to use is if I for those, I know there are some people who like have the thing or whatever where they can't make a mental picture in their head, right? Which is Nestani. But for those who can't, like, right, like if I asked you to like picture an apple in your head, some of y'all are gonna like think of like the red apple. Right, but some people are gonna default to like the Granny Smith apple, right? And so if we can't like a tree, for example, some people think of a pine tree, some people think of those freaking like acorn generating. It's maple trees, right? Am I no?
Well,
doesn't matter. Keep going.
Right, but the tree, like either way, like if we like say the word tree at each other in a different mental image or like experience thinking about something, like we can't even agree on the most basic of things. Like, how do we communicate the ideas of like something more abstract, like pain, right? Or like grief? Like, it's different. So it's like you're trying to like talk at me and explain how this thing made you feel, but like we don't even feel about things the same way, right? Or we experience different flavors of the same emotion, but you can't necessarily talk about that through words, right? So it's like it can be frustrating when someone is trying to talk at you with words for something that's a little more intangible. So, but nobody asked, right? That's kind of like our whole thing. Nobody, who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to at least, if the other person is interested, to make an attempt at understanding, like, or describing your perspective, because I think that there is value in understanding how people interface with what they're like consuming. I guess is the word here.
That can be a separate conversation, though. Like, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, how much do you want to invest in a person to be able to have that conversation? Because it's a conversation that takes a bit. And it's not, it can't be an unfun, like, it can be a fun conversation too, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's one of those things you have to read the vibes with someone else. It's like, are they just making small talk, or do they actually want to like get to know you on a deeper level? So it's like, you know, you're allowed to be as guarded as you want to with that kind of stuff too, which is what I would also say. But
yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think there's any objective perspective on art. That's just me.
Except that Scooby-Doo Fights is an objectively bad game. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary people, and all in between, does anyone have anything to shout out before we go?
I already kind of shouted out my shit with all the
True, you already had. Anyone that has an ad that's not Jaxler, he does not get two. Exactly. He has to pay for that. He has to give me at least $2 if he wants us to shout out something.
$2.
Cash, specifically.
Yeah, he has to fly down here and give it to me in person.
Yeah.
He has to give it to me in person.
Jeez. Wow. Anyway.
Well, in that case, go ahead, Cosmic.
I was going to say, yeah. So the day that we're recording this, which is Tuesday, so it'll have been up for a few days by the time this goes live. The Devil May Cry Netflix series came out, and then last Saturday, my buddy Dr. Shy Guy and I sat down to talk about the series, and we ended up talking about it in discussion format for about 4 hours.
Damn.
It was probably longer than the actual runtime of the season for Devil May Cry. Considering there was only 8 episodes and they were about half an hour-ish each.
So if you have essentially enough of Cosmic, you're about to get enough of him if you watch that shit.
I was going to say, yeah. So, because we originally kind of envisioned this video or this discussion as like an overview of what we liked and didn't like. And we ended up just kind of going bar for bar through the series almost and kind of breaking down different scenes. And extrapolating really cool. different stuff from it. Yeah, it was a really good discussion. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And Doc and I, like, we mostly see eye to eye on a lot, but there's also points where like our opinions and perspectives on the series as well as the Netflix thing differ. So us like coming to the revelation about where the other's coming from is a really good part of the video as well. And seeing like what each of us kind of pulled away from it, considering our different like takes on the series, essentially. It was one of those things where this series ended up kind of being a little divisive among the fan base. So we kind of wanted to say, this is what we think. This is kind of what we're standing on. So if you want to go in
business, goddamn.
Standing on business, yeah, whatever it is. And so, yeah, about 4 hours and like 18 minutes or so. So if you have like half a work day to kill,
or if you need to drive to Atlanta to go watch a concert.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's on my YouTube video. It's just called Devil May Cry Netflix full analysis featuring Dr.
It'll
Shy
also
Guy.
be linked below.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh God, that's my phone telling me I'm dying. So Cole, go ahead.
Yeah. It's just speedrun Sundays at 4:30 on Sundays. Except this weekend because
it's
it's Easter.
been moved to 4:30 instead of 4.
Be able to do it.
I like how it keeps creeping back.
4:30.
It was 4. You said 4
it's
last
been
week. I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 4:30.
I'm gonna rewind
I usually
the
always
tape.
start at 4:30. Okay, I'm pretty confident though that I've
4:30 is such
started
a
at
weird
4:30
time
every
to
single
start.
time. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
You should start at 4:27
usually
just for
when
the vibes.
I don't know, but I got a Twitch affiliate, and so now my chat loves to gamble and
I was
vote.
the first sub in Coley's channel.
You were the
I
first
used my
sub, but it was
Prime.
before every
Because
you did it
Jaxler hasn't
before
streamed
everyone
in fucking
started.
18 years, so Cole got my Prime sub, which is really funny.
I just want to say that this entire podcast, I look over to my OBS and it shows like what people have voted for. And so there's some votes that are called, why is Cole here? And will Cole become a dick or a tater? And I don't. And then.
That sounds like Nestani's doing. I'm gonna be so
that,
weird.
poll is me. That specific one.
Oh,
is
that one
me.
is you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The dick of the tater.
Oh
is
my god,
definitely me.
it was actually crazy.
Can't
Somebody bet on their account getting banned, and then they got banned because they lost the prediction. So it's a crazy time over here.
Incredible, dude.
So if you want to vote or gamble, come watch me on Twitch and YouTube. But YouTube, you'll just experience stream delay.
Twitch is
But that's
better.
about it. So
I can also fix that.
Yeah.
For you. Anyway. Oh, I guess it's my.
So, yeah,
I'm in school and working. I don't have anything going on. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.